Hello, and thanks for watching the Finn Kids Graduate Showcase. My name is Alex Brundage. I'm the program manager here at Finn. I'm here with Gwyneth Christoffel and Meagan Brown, two of the filmmakers whose work you just watched. Gwyneth directed Gone for Long, Recipe for Love, and A Perfect Pair, and Meagan directed Laura's Dream and Class of 2016. Both Gwyneth and Meagan are award winners at Finn Kids, which at the time was called Viewfinders, and have gone on to careers in the arts and filmmaking with their work featured in the Atlantic International Film Festival and beyond. Gwyneth and Meagan have been gracious enough to give me a bit of their time today to answer some questions about their experience with the film competition and to give some helpful tips to any aspiring filmmakers looking to submit their work to the 2021 competition. By the way, the deadline for that is coming up on April 9th, so keep that in mind. Thanks so much, guys. It's great to have you here today.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'll start off by asking, how did you guys get into filmmaking as a kid, or as kids rather?
I personally, it was like one of those things I just stumbled into just for fun with my parents' old video camera that had a stop motion function on it. And I would put in the tape and just do little claymations and Lego movies all the time. And that turned into working with my friends and doing videos with them and just really silly stuff. But I think from that, I realized it was something I really enjoyed doing, and then went to the viewfinders workshops, and at that time viewfinders, and realized oh, this is a real hobby now. But it started out as fun for me. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Meagan? How did you get into filmmaking?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I have a very similar story. It started as fun. It started with a little point and shoot camera that barely had video capabilities, but it had a record button. So that's really all I needed to get going. And it really kicked off when I took a workshop with what was Viewfinders at the time. It was a week-long workshop held over the summer in the old CDC building that I believe is now a YMCA. And they partnered us with some filmmakers working in the industry, and that was really cool because it was kind of my first experience. I think I was 12 or 13 at the time. It was my first experience thinking wow, this is really fun and I can make this as a career kind of thing. So that's kind of where that got started. And also it started a lot with teachers in school giving us little video projects, and I just kind of took that and ran with it and had a lot of fun with those. So, yeah.
Great. What was your, Gwyneth, what was your experience like with what was then Viewfinders, now called Finn Kids?
I have so many awesome memories, so many fun memories. And it was such an amazing experience. The main thing I remember is getting to work with industry professionals and people who actually were doing this as a career and knew their stuff. And they were all really amazing teachers. And it kind of in a way was amazing, but it also confused me because I was do I want to do camera? Do I want to do editing? Do I want to direct? Because everyone was so awesome and great. I just found a lot of really amazing mentors through that program who I still talk to today and people who I'm still connected with. And I learned so much. I think it was a really great introductory to anything that you could do, anything you could do in the future with film. So yeah, I miss it in a way now. I kind of want to go to some workshops like that now. It's hard to with COVID.
Yeah, Meagan, how about you? What was your Finn Kids experience like?
I mean, yeah, Gwyneth, you said it all. The workshops, I think, are such a huge part of Finn Kids and Viewfinders, and I think that was something that I really loved, was the workshops and getting to kind of do that hands-on experience. And also, it really gives you kind of a well-rounded first impression of film because between the workshops and the festival, you get to see where the film starts and where the film ends. And I think we screen, the fact that Finn Kids happens in a movie theater was probably one of the coolest parts for me, I guess before COVID, because it was fun to be able to, and I guess online it would apply the same kind of way where you get to invite your friends and your family and be come check out my film, it's screening in this big festival, it's so exciting. And I think a lot of other people get get really excited to participate in stuff like that. And you know, Fin Kids making that so accessible to wider audiences is really great. So that, you know, it's neat to be able to experience watching your film in a film festival with other people as they're kind of responding to it at the same time, and they're laughing when you hope they would laugh, and they're awing when you hope they would awe, and that kind of thing. So it's neat to see that final product.
Yeah, it's fun to see the reaction like of everybody. You've worked so hard on something for so long, and then you're in the theater and you get to like hear them react at those exact moments you hoped for. It's a pretty awesome. Yeah, I agree about that.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, on my end too, has been one of the most rewarding parts of it through the years is, you know, seeing it, seeing everybody together in the theater reacting to that kind of thing, which, you know, COVID is unfortunately undercut some of that, but we will get back there. For my next question, what kind of help did you guys have in making your films? Did you work with, you know, parents or friends, or even just by yourself on what you were making? Gwyneth, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I personally was a solo person. Like it was just me and my camera at the time, and I would just like go in my room, close the door, and just get in the zone, because a lot of what I did was stop motion when I was younger. And I had this little like remote camera, and I would click, and sometimes I was in the videos, like in Gone for Long, I'm in the video, I had the whole time. So for me, it was more of like a solo project. It was something that I could just do and kind of meditate in and go in the zone. But I definitely had some help from my parents in terms of their support and just showing them something and saying, what do you think of this? And they were always really amazing and supportive. But yeah, it was more later on in life when I started working more in teams, but it was fun to do it by myself for a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Megan, how about you?
Yeah, I think much the same. I got started kind of solo, you know. I mean, it started in groups when, you know, when a teacher would say like, hey, you're making this video project, they would obviously, you know, kind of group us into it. But, you know, usually it was me who was like, can I edit it? Can I edit it? And, you know, then I would kind of take it off and, you know, have fun with playing around with the edit and things like that. And yeah, I also got a lot of support. I mean, from my parents, like when I was making things like Laura's Dream, like Laura's a very close family friend, and she's a good friend of my dad's. So he's actually, he's in the video, and he kind of connected us to Laura's network of family and friends that we were able to speak to. He was my ride because I didn't have a driver's license. So he was a big supporter. My mom has always been a big supporter. She's very well, she works in journalism in Halifax, and she has always been a very strong proponent of getting me out there and being like, you should talk to this person, you should talk to this person, you know, and so she's always been a big help and a big supporter that way. So, and with Class of 2016, that was one that I made a little bit later. That was one I made in high school, and that was a complete kind of co-production with a friend of mine, Yael. She was kind of my partner in crime in high school, and sometimes that's nice to have that, you know, that one other person that you can kind of bounce ideas off of, and who can, you know, grab the camera or look at an edit and be like, maybe we should try it some other way, and things like that. It's, you know, I love working solo, but I also love working in teams for that collaborative aspect as well.
For sure. So both of you are still working in, you know, kind of both still making films, both still, you know, working in creative industries. Yeah, I just could you say a little bit about what you're working on now? Gwyneth, you go ahead.
Yeah. Well, for my job, I work at a marketing agency, and I do like animations and editing and stuff. But then outside of that, I do a bunch of my own animations. I have an Instagram account called Gwyneth Draws, where I post fun little like drawing animations, just little tiny snippets. I'm working on a couple little short films for myself right now, animations that I'm picking away at. But the most recent exciting thing is I'm about to start editing a music video for some of my close friends, their band. And I'm really excited about that because it's like I haven't done an edit for a really long time, like a cool music video edit in a while. It's exciting because I get to maybe do some more visual effects work, which I feel like I have as much practice in lately. So I'm going to do some of that, and yeah, it's fun. Just doing a bit of everything. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Megan, how about you?
Right now I'm working as an assistant editor at a production company that does mostly kind of documentary series, which has been really cool. Documentary has kind of been my focus since Fin Kids. Both of those films that you've seen were short documentaries. So that's really exciting. It's neat to kind of see the ins and outs of how that kind of works. And then I'm also, you know, because it's nice to keep creating, like Gwyneth, you mentioned. So I've been working with my partner. We're making mini documentaries. We're offering mini documentaries to local businesses in my area to kind of help revamp and support them with their kind of marketing and things like that during lockdown. So we've kind of been doing that on the side, and we've only shot a couple so far, but that's been exciting to kind of keep creating and keep telling stories outside of kind of the 9 to 5 as well. So yeah,
For sure. So last question before I let you guys go. Do you have any advice to any kids or youths working on films for the competition this year?
I'm always like, I like try to think back to when I was like 14 or something and what I would have said to myself then. I think it's like mine would be that feeling that you have of like something super exciting. Like you're like, I remember there would be one idea that would pop into my head that I would stay up all night thinking about, and just go with your gut, do it. Don't think about what you think other people are going to think of it. Just grab your camera and get started, or whatever you want to make it with. Like, do it for you is basically. And I think that's something I'm still working on even now. Like, it's advice that I keep trying to tell myself. Do it for myself. Don't worry about anyone else, and create something awesome that you'll be proud of. Yeah.
Yeah. Megan, how about you? Any advice for the up and comers?
for sure. I mean, yeah, like Gwyneth mentioned, just like when there's an idea that excites you, just run with it. And I think another big thing is that like story is everywhere. Story is all around you. You are living a story. You are experiencing stories. So you don't necessarily have to look very far to find a story worth telling. You know, my thesis film for my university graduation was about my family. And I remember when I first came up with the idea, I mentioned it to someone and I was like, yeah, I don't know how I feel, like who's going to care and that kind of thing. And it was just like, and everyone was like, no, that's a great story. Like, I want to hear you tell more about that and things like that. So don't underestimate your story. Don't underestimate the story of the people around you and the people you care about and the people you know, or the places you see and the experiences you have. There's story in everything. I think there's, if it's something that you care about, you'll find a really great way to kind of put that to screen, and you'll be surprised at how many people are really excited about your story.
For sure. Yeah, that I think that's great advice for filmmakers of any age.
Yeah. I'm taking note now. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to think of ideas that I can do now.
Gwyneth and Megan, thanks so much for your time, and thanks to everybody who tuned in to watch. Make sure to mark your calendar for April 9th, which is the deadline coming up to submit your work to this year's Fin Kids film competition. The competition is always a lot of fun, as you've heard from these guys, and we're always really excited to see what you guys come up with. Thanks again, guys. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us.